Hello everybody, today I'll be talking about cloning and what cloning is all about. So imagine you're walking down the street and you see yourself walk right past you. How would you react? Cloning has been a controversial topic for decades, and the very first mammal that we know of was cloned in 1996, and she was a sheep and her name was Dolly. She only lived for about 6 years, which technically was the lifespan of a sheep. She later died from lung disease and severe arthritis. Other mammals have been cloned since Dolly, like cattle, dogs, and horses, and many other animals. This phenomenon poses many questions of ethics and legality. After doing some extensive research of what cloning is all about and why scientists have been wanting to do it so bad, I have a greater understanding of how cloning, despite its ethical issues, might be an advancement for mankind. So to begin, I will be describing what cloning actually entails, and then I'll explain why scientists were doing it, and I will later discuss why it was so controversial. So cloning is not what we actually think. It's not a human going into this big tube machine with flashing lights and smoke coming out of it. It's not something that we see in movies. It actually takes place within the DNA of an organism. And so this picture describes basically what happens during cloning. So a skin cell is removed from an adult mammal and it's fused with an unfertilized egg that's been stripped of its DNA. The process seems simple, but it kind of comes with a lot of complications in the animals being experimented. The types of complication could include genetic damage to the clone, health risks for the mother, and extremely low success rates, and a ton more. Any genetic damage could cause the mammal to live a difficult life or even lead to death. An article from the National Center for Biotechnology Information reported that a calf died after developing blood and heart problems. When cloning, a lot of animals might not make it through their first day or two. So when an animal like Dolly the sheep lives for 6 years, it becomes a huge deal because it could potentially mean that they're headed for a breakthrough, which they kind of were. So scientists know that cloning is very tedious and difficult, but they push through because they know that cloning comes with a lot of benefits despite all the drawbacks they encounter during the process. The National Genome Project released an article describing the different benefits of cloning, such as genetically modifying sheep to produce milk that has protein to effectively clot blood, and they wanted to give the milk to people whose bodies didn't clot blood properly, because if your blood doesn't clot, then you could bleed to death if you got like a minor cut. Another benefit is using the cloned animals to test different medicines and treatments. And then lastly, the Genome Project wanted to use clones to build populations of endangered animals. Not everybody thought that this was a necessary or a good idea. So during the Clinton administration, cloning was essentially banned. Clinton banned federal funding to cloning research and experimentation, and the government just did not want any part in it because of all of the ethical issues that came with it. So people began to worry that cloning might be used to harvest organs and replace people that have passed away, and so this created a huge stigma around cloning. Researchers didn't believe that we needed cloning to do research and that studying identical twins was a more ethical approach to the matter. Cloning was also really risky and inefficient because of all of the offspring that died and all of the complications that came with the clones, so therefore it was banned. And to be honest, who knows what could have come from this? Cloning, in theory, sounds like a good idea and was thought to bring many benefits into our societies. It was not meant to be an evil agenda, but like Thomas Hobbes once said, man is inherently bad. So although we do not think that cloning would be evil, there would always be that one person out there that would take advantage of it and ruin it for everybody else. And that's what the Clinton administration was so afraid of. So banning the research was probably the most ideal decision that could have happened because, who knows, we could have ended up like an episode of Black Mirror. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.